Good morning, guys. I'm sitting here with Nate and Paula. And I forget their YouTube channel name, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell their YouTube channels.
I'm Nate. I'm with 𝙨𝙗𝙧𝙧𝙧𝙧 Adventures.
And I'm Paula, and I'm Van Vita Travels.
Okay, so there's a very interesting story about you two. Which one of you wants to tell me about it?
Well, she was doing her big winter trip, getting out of Canada for winter, and I was a full-time nomad at the time, and we went to a meetup kind of like this one, but down in Arizona, and we met each other in person for the first time, and then went to schoolie and fell in love. And
the funny thing is, I had interviewed him on my channel, right? And no clue that anything was going to happen. I mean, at my point in that time was building out the ambulance, running away from winter in Canada for 3.5 months, and he was just a gift.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. And so you're from Canada, so when you married a U.S. citizen, what happened to you?
Well, I've never had a concern ever coming across the border, even with the ambulance. This time they were really good because it was the first time across married. But now that I'm married to an American citizen, I need to bring proof that I own a home, proof that I have a job that I'm going back to, because I think they think I'm going to stay in the U.S.
Oh.
But I'm actually trying to stay up there, but I get the same interrogation going the other way. And I tell them, but I do want to stay because my wife is up here.
I've seen shows about that, having trouble getting that kind of stuff done. But.
Well, when he's first coming across the border and he lived in his camper with the dogs, and so it looked pretty suspicious.
I did school and work remotely, and I couldn't tell them any reason that would prove that I'd be coming back to the U.S. And so the first 3 times across, I got pulled in and questioned quite a bit, and we'll see what the next one is. We got to cross the border again, and we still don't have our my permanent residence approved. So It's always an adventure doing that and figuring out the international marriage. We'll see how it goes.
So is that a scary thing to get pulled over and searched? And
absolutely. And I've got anxiety, and now anytime I get close to the border, it kicks up, and it's like, okay, what are we in for this time? And just be honest, and they don't always like the answers as far as not owning a home or having a job that I got to physically come back for. But yeah, we've always been honest with them, and it's always worked out. So
yeah, I think honesty is the best ticket there. So
when we started dating, a lot of people are, how are you guys going to work this? Like, one's Canadian, one's American. We were like, well, we'll just figure it out as we go along. But because he's still working remotely, and I have 6.5 years until my early retirement that I don't want to mess up my pension, he's like giving up everything to come to Canada.
Oh, how sweet is that? Well, you work remotely, so it works best for you to do that.
Absolutely.
And he's familiar with snow, but our cold is a different kind of cold.
Yes, yeah, I can imagine that. Yep. So right now you're traveling just in a travel trailer with 2 dogs?
Two fluffy Samoyeds, basically. And that's what my channel is named after. Is 𝙨𝙗𝙧𝙧𝙧 is a nickname for that breed.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They're a big part of our channel.
So this is just proof that you can find love even in van life.
Yeah, you don't need the dating websites and stuff. Apparently just start a YouTube channel and get some traction to it. And maybe it's, part of that is in doing the YouTube is, we met each other because we had the same interests, and our channels are both about travel and that type of thing. And so I guess naturally you meet people that are going to share interests with you if you do it that way, and it's not fake because, well, yeah, people online know more about either of us, than most people get to know about a person in their lifetime. So.
Oh, that is awesome. And the families? How did the families take the...
My brother already knew Nate virtually.
Oh, wow.
Because we were a part of a big live streaming nomadic community, and I've interviewed, I think it's 96 nomads on my channel. And so we do Saturday night live streams, and it gets a little crazy. And Nate was always a part of the community. I was part of the community. My brother already liked Nate. My mom adores him. My son and Nate get along way too well for my liking. My son's 23, and they're both very intellectual. And I'm not. Well, I'm more of a social person than an analytical, business-minded person. And they're alike, and oh my God, you would think it was his child.
But that's awesome that the family gets along.
Oh,
well, and that means so much.
Yes.
It really, really
It
does.
helps with the ups and downs of a relationship.
Yeah, and the fun part, I mean, we met in the desert in Arizona, and then going back to Canada, and when we talked about getting married and made that decision, it was like, well, do we do it in the States or do we do it in Canada? And either way, there was going to be issues, because like we said, going across the border at all can be complicated, and if anybody has any part of anything of your friends or family in their past, then people that you want there might not be able to go either way. So we said, we're just going to do it in Mexico on a beach. And so
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a very small wedding on a beach, and everything just went absolutely wonderful. Best day of my life.
Mine too.
That's awesome. I appreciate you guys. What else? You was going to say something else?
Oh, no. Sometimes I start something and then I end. I don't know if you can.
Okay, anything else you can think of?
I would just say that, you know, we met Mona here at Johnny's Journeys meetup, and she actually, well, she was there when we met in the desert in those meetups, and Johnny has saved my butt a couple times out in the desert. So thank you to Johnny, and her meetup is amazing. And I knew when we came here, anybody in Johnny's community has always been amazing.
Oh,
and
yes.
So thank you to Johnny for everything and being there, and yeah, good to meet everybody from Johnny's meetup.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah, and it's been great to meet y'all. I've heard about you, but now I get to meet you.
It's kind of interesting too, because I never suspected that we would get together at all, because I'm a little bit older than he is too, and I thought, well, he's not going to want anything to do with some old girl from Canada.
You're robbing the cradle.
I am, and I am so glad. But you know what? For me, it was during the pandemic when I started my channel, and I was more social on my live streams probably than I was any other time in my life, and I really learned to push past that bubble of fear. I swear it was almost like a midlife crisis. I went bungee jumping and skydiving and built out the ambulance and did that trip to the US on my own, and it just paid off. Even losing a transmission on the trip, I found Nate. It was all worth it.
And that's one of the things that I really loved about her, is she does push herself. Like one of the very first days when we met, everybody talked me into going to this Palm Canyon hike, and it's a steep hike, and there was a lot of fear for her, and we eventually went back and conquered it, but her willingness to like kind of take on that thing that you can. And I was so proud of her. I can remember her once she finally did get up to the palm tree, and I'll always remember the look in her face. She was so cute and just so happy with herself, but also terrified that she still had to get down. So there was a little bit of exuberance, but also terrified at the same time.
They say it's harder to go down than it is up.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And that was where I went wrong. I looked back the first time. So, and then I was so disappointed that I didn't finish it. So he took me back so I could do it and make it to the top. He's just so supportive. And it's really nice that we both have YouTube channels, because when you want to record something all the time, some people can find that annoying, but we get it.
How many smiles does it take to be happy? How many times do you have to feel lonely before you get the chance to meet someone, before you get to meet someone like you? How many songs can you write about heartbreak? How to go on when you're fed up with mistakes? Maybe I just found the answers. Maybe I just found the answers in you. Come give me all your love. I want you to know we can make it together. Let the wind blow. All we need is each other. Come take my hand. You're all that I have now. I won't let you go, 'cause I found all the answers in you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Take me away. I'm okay if I got you. We don't have to stay. We can do what we want to. Just give a little bit of your heart. Give a little bit of your heart to me. All of my scars start to heal when I'm with you, and I can't explain how I feel when I'm with you. Just give a little bit of your heart. Give a little bit of your heart to me.